All right, welcome Aquarius to your reading for the first half of September, 1st to the 15th. And we're doing your 12 house spread today. So, in your first house, in the house of Ascendant and Identity, we have the Seven of Pentacles. This card came up for another reading. I can't remember what we did, but it was similar in that it's asking you, is it worth what you've been putting your effort into? Are you working hard at something that's paying off? Or do you actually need to dig in deeper and keep going? Let's see what the clarifier says about that one.
Lovely. What have we got here? Oh, beautiful, Aquarius.
Oh.
You have the Four of Wands. So this is a card of completion. It's a card of abundance, a card of happiness and joy, fulfillment. So it
Mm.
absolutely suggests that whatever you're putting the work into is really worth it and it's going to yield really abundant results for you. And it's got to be very much tied in with your identity, who you are, your sense of self, your spark. So lovely start to the reading, Aquarius.
Yeah, and I wonder if the Ten of Wands will emerge somewhere because it's got that similar energy. In the second
Mm.
house, we've got for our house of value and resources, it's the Six of Pentacles. This card is connected to where are you giving out and where do you need to keep in for yourself? Are you feeling a bit wrung out, or are you feeling like you've got so much more to give and you don't have anywhere to place it? I guess the clarifier will be able to tell us where that is.
Lovely. In your second house of values and what you're
Mm.
resourced with, bring about your abundance, you have the Two of Cups. So this tells us that I think what this is saying, Aquarius, is that you really value connection. This is a card about connection to self and other and to higher self, and it's about communication. I'd say somebody that you're really going to value who also shares your values is coming in for you.
Mm.
So really nice, Aquarius. And it also suggests too, in that second house of abundance, what you're resourced with to create your abundance is that your abundance is going to come through partnerships. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good message for Aquarius because you're really good at connecting in wider circles, and this is bringing attention to the more intimate. So we'll see how that emerges in the rest of the reading. In the third house of communication and ideas, whoa, you have the sun. So there's something coming through really enjoyable about the way you're communicating or some ideas that you're having currently, something fresh, something exciting, and it's also indicative of reward. So again, in that house of communication, perhaps you're bringing a lot of joy, or someone or something is bringing a lot of joy into your life at the moment.
Wow, how positive. Gosh, you are really off to a great start. Oh, interesting. So, in your third house of communication to go along with your sun is the Knight of Pentacles. So, because the sun is the most positive card in the tarot, that would shine, pardon the pun, shine a very positive perspective on our Knight of Pentacles. So, normally what he means is no forward movement. But because it's paired with the sun, it would suggest that you're really reflecting and taking your time to take in those blessings of the sun and really allowing yourself to perhaps be a little bit considered around how you want to shine through your communication. So, the sun, because it is all about success, really says that your success is married up with your communication, Aquarius. So,
Mhm.
whatever you're planning on communicating, working on communicating, great success coming through for
Yeah,
you.
great. And in the fourth house, we have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is in that placement of home, of relationships, of chosen family or family of origin, and what's familiar. And maybe I get a feeling that this Knight of Swords is representing sometimes where you can come in really hard and fast before taking that measured step of the previous Knight that we just saw, the Knight of Pentacles. Perhaps this is a balancing of how does this emerge in your family or familiar places, and where does that need to be tempered with how you communicate or what ideas you have? Is there a difference? Because it's quite a contrast between those two nights. Or this could also represent someone else coming in and shaking things up really fast. And the swords are kind of connected to communication as well. So I'm wondering what the clarifier says about that actually.
So interesting. Okay, so This is a nice balancing out of that
Mm.
urgency. We have the Six of Wands. So this is success, recognition, accomplishment. He's riding in high on that horse. He's on his high horse as well. He should be. He's earned his place there. So in your family, maybe your family is starting to see you as like, this person's actually not the kooky Aquarius we thought they were. We can see what you're accomplishing. So this is about recognition. So I'm wondering if the recognition is coming from your family, or you've broken away from the family using the urgency of that previous card. You've broken away from family constraints to bring in this success and accomplishment and achievement and recognition for yourself. Really positive, Aquarius. Lovely.
Yeah, two cards together in the same house, both on horseback. So there's something riding in for you. Yeah. In the fifth house, we have the hanged man that's connected to how you're expressing creativity at the moment, or maybe in the near future, how this is connected to your identity, and potentially something around children or siblings. But I get the sense that the hanged man is around you're able to sit into that insight that you're having. Something is coming to you around an aha moment, and that's only been able to come with hanging back and accepting things for how they are. How does the clarifier reveal more about that, Fran?
Mm. Oh, wow. It reveals abundance. So this
Mm-hmm.
is a card of absolute abundance and enjoying the abundance and opulence. So the very beautiful Nine of Pentacles, pre-Empress energy, she has achieved that abundance through a sense of balance and grace. And she really knows how to enjoy it. So she's resting in that sense of abundance. So again, it's funny. This is coming through for a few of our signs. I get the sense that this great abundance is going to come as a result of you leaning into your creative expression, whatever that might be for you. So get into that passion project, dust off those old hobbies, because creative expression for you equals opulence, abundance, and the capacity to enjoy it. So really
Mm.
beautiful, Aquarius.
Yeah, cool. And in the sixth house, we have the Three of Swords. I was going to say Three of Hearts, but this is that card of not so much forgiveness, but alleviating yourself of the suffering. In the sixth house of work and service and also health, how can you kind of bring this energy more into what you're doing for yourself, what you're doing for others? Work could also be related to work you're putting into relationships. And where is that wounding? Where did that come from? Can you kind of go back in and reframe what kind of insights you had, or maybe lenses that you've grown out of the wounding or the trauma that's come from the past? And is there a way to reframe it so that you were able to imagine yourself getting your needs met, or that you're coming to a place of peace afterwards? What is the clarifier saying for that, Fran?
Lovely. It's interesting as you were speaking, Em, the sense that I got, that Three of Swords showing up in the sixth house of work. I got for you, Aquarius, that whatever work you do, you bring, because that's also a card of healing. You're healing that heart. You have, as Em was saying, you now have the capacity to heal that heart. So heal self, heal others. So I get the sense, whatever your work is, that sixth house, whatever your work is, you bring through a healing energy. I mean, even if you're answering the phone at a
Mm.
hotel, that interaction that you have with that person, you're able to bring through healing. So, yeah, I get the sense you're a healer at this time, Aquarius. Really lovely. And our clarifier, oh, this one wants to jump out, is, oh, wow, interesting. This is the death card. So do not be afraid, Aquarius, of the death card showing up in your sixth house of work. This is telling us that change is coming in. So the death card is death and rebirth, it's regeneration, it's renewal, it's revitalization. So it's really positive. And in your sixth house of work, so there could be a change of work, or there could be a change in how you do your work, or an attitudinal change. So really, really positive. Lots of, and you have the container to bring this change through. This isn't going to be jarring, horrible change. This is going to be really welcome change. I get the sense that it's a reward for this beautiful healing that you bring through in what you do. It reminds me, a friend of mine's an Aquarius, and she works in early childcare. She's an early childcare educator, and she's singing with the kids and she's drawing with the kids, but what she's bringing through from what she tells me about her day to day, is this lovely healing. So yeah, beautiful Aquarius.
Awesome. Yeah. And in the seventh house of relationships and partnerships, we have the judgment card. So judgment card it's not just about judgment. It's actually about being called forward and into a new life. So you can see these people, they're kind of emerging out of these things that look like coffins, but this angel that's kind of trumpeting down is kind of sharing a message. And it's suddenly this awakening of like, oh my God, of course, that makes so much sense. So I wonder how that's coming out in your partnerships and relationships at the moment. Where in your relationships are you feeling a renewal, and what kind of a renewal are you kind of longing for? What can you create in that? What's the clarifier for
Mm.
that, friend?
Wow, beautiful, M. Okay, do not be alarmed. This is a very scary looking card, Aquarius, I know, but what this suggests to me, given the positivity of the cards that surround it, is this is very much what you're healing from. So, our friend here, the Nine of Swords, all this person has to do is move out of a comfort zone. And I feel that that judgment card, that call to action, a call to a new life, or a call to a new way of being, is the answer to this. I also feel like this is something that you've moved through. This is very much past energy. You might be feeling a little bit of a hangover from it. And a little bit fearful that this cycle could start again, but this is the end of the cycle. So, this phase is leaving your life and you're entering into a new phase. So I get the sense that you're very much taking that call to action. So good on you,
Mm.
Aquarius.
Yeah, and so great that you mentioned that, Fran, because as you said the word hangover, I was like, oh yeah, what struck me was the concept of a vulnerability hangover when you've been so open and transparent and suddenly you're like, oh my God, did I say too much? Or now I'm feeling so raw from having opened to someone or to myself. And it's like you were saying, moving through that and recognizing the healing power that comes from doing those things and the strength in your vulnerability. So in the
Yes.
eighth house now, we have the Eight of Swords. This card has been coming up constantly in every reading tonight. And it is about those self-limiting beliefs. How do you free this person who's used to being wild and like roaming around on the land, not having any restrictions? Something is caging her in. And we're talking in the eighth house. So that is about transformation. And it's about shared resources. So is there anything coming in at you from the external world that feels like, yes, I've got to bind myself with that? And how can you release yourself from that? Perhaps it's got something to do with the way you speak to yourself or the relationship you have with yourself. What's the clarifier saying around how that can be transformed?
Thanks, Em. Just as you were speaking, that card of self-imposed restriction showing up in the eighth house of transformation
Mm,
really strongly suggests to me that this is something that you are transforming. But again, there might be that hangover, that fear that you might enter back into that phase of feeling restricted and feeling maybe devoiced in some way or disempowered. But you absolutely have the power to transform that. And it landing in the eighth house of transformation suggests that this is
mm,
what you, for the most part, I would say almost entirely have transformed. And you're capable
mm,
of just doing the last little bit of hangover work, which is pretty much just letting it go. And what card do we have? Oh, this one wants to jump out. Oh, beautiful. We have the strength card. So this is saying you
mm,
absolutely have the strength to move away from those ideas of restrictions and limitations. So, yeah,
mm,
trusting your inner strength. You're really, really strong at this time, Aquarius.
mm.
Beautiful.
Yeah. In the ninth house, we have the Page of Wands. So this is some new energy coming in around higher thinking, higher mind, and philosophy or beliefs. Where is your curiosity leading you? What is helping you feel enthusiastic and kind of enlivened in your life at the moment? Perhaps you've been meaning to go down this route or a rabbit hole of research that you have been putting off. because you feel guilty, like it's not part of work or anything. But it could be really important for you to go down that path now, particularly as we're seeing this card emerge. But also, let's see what the clarifier is saying around that.
Lovely. So the ninth house is, adventure, expansion, it's Jupiter, it's higher mind. So
Mm.
to clarify, you have the Hermit, which kind
Oh,
of seems at
yes.
odds with that energy,
Mm.
but
Hmm.
it's not at all at odds with the energy of higher mind. Taking a little bit of time to reflect on those higher ideals, those higher concepts, is going to serve you really well, Aquarius, and really bring about greater and greater freedom, which is what you're all about, Aquarius. We know you love your freedom. So this is saying that your key to freedom is just taking a little bit of time out to reflect on those higher ideals and shining them out into the world in whatever way that means to you. And that doesn't mean like standing on a soapbox and necessarily proselytizing, but just allowing what you've learned to shine into what you're doing, to inform what you're doing. So really beautiful, and you can do that in a spirit of expansion and adventure. So I feel like your adventures at the moment, Aquarius, might be more internal adventures, but once they reach that critical point, they're going to tip over and they're going to turn into adventures and travel and expansion, whatever that expansion means for you, expanding into abundance in the outside world. And I feel that that's imminent for you. So look out for it, Aquarius.
Yeah, I think with that card as well, I'm just straight up getting like jumping on Google and or YouTube and just disappearing for a few hours into a research topic that is really kooky or conspiracy theory, something like that. So have fun with it. It doesn't have to be so serious. You don't have to hang your hat on it. I think that's what I was trying to say in the last
Oh,
reading.
yeah. Yeah,
Hang my
yeah.
hat on
I
it.
like that expression.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's the Page of Wands as well. He's got his hat on. So, what are you going to hang your hat on, Aquarius? And then what house are we up to? The 10th house. We've got the King of Wands. And this king is speaking to assertion about passion, moving forward, taking action. And the salamander. And I think there's a Leo here. It's protection from fire. So you can kind of walk through fire, walk over the coals into this house of career, reputation, and status. And I wonder if that's speaking to a sense of power and a need to speak up at work or speak out publicly about something. What's the clarifier card saying there, Fran?
Lovely. Yeah, I'm really getting for you, Aquarius, own your power in the workplace. You've earned it, and people are
Mm,
going to listen. He knows what he's doing. He's a card of credibility. So for
mm.
our clarifier, oh, wow, beautiful. We have the Queen of
Ah,
Wands. So
Queen
kind
and
of
King.
similar. Yeah, king
Mm,
and queen. So there could be a workplace
mm,
romance because they are divine counterparts. And
mm.
they're a really great match, king and queen of wands. He really knows how to build stuff, and she's really innovative and really marches to the beat of her own drum. This is very you. The queen of wands doesn't give a rat's ass about what anyone thinks about her pet black cat. Doesn't care if people are frightened of it or, giving her a wide berth. She's like, I'll have a black cat if I want to. And isn't that just you, Aquarius? So really embracing that beautiful Aquarian spirit of being who and how you are in the workplace is really going to pay off for you. So exciting, Aquarius. You do you.
Yeah. And in the 11th house, we've got the Eight of Cups. And even though this card looks quite somber, it's about the moon that's shining down. And so walking the path of the moonlight, it may not feel like a known place, but it's definitely guiding you towards something different and important. And being in the 11th house of kind of dreams and connections, groups, is that ruled by Neptune? I
Ruled
think
by
that is,
Neptune.
yeah. So there's a connection there for you, Aquarius, as well, of like, this is your chance to step off the beaten path and explore something that's left of field. Go really wide and see where you can expand into that. What's the clarifying card there, Fran?
Yeah, lovely. Oh, it's a beautiful one. My goodness me. We have the 10
Ah,
of Pentacles. So this is the ultimate in wishes, and it's showing up in your 11th house of hopes and wishes. So this would
yeah.
suggest wish fulfillment. Wish fulfillment around abundant or whatever, the wish closest to your heart is.
Mm.
Wish it, wish for it, put the work in, and you're going to see it, Aquarius.
Yeah, cool. And finally, in the 12th house, we have the Two of Cups. And this card in the 12th house is about transforming through this hidden energy of what's not really known, what's not really explicit in your relationships. You had this cup appear earlier. I think it was a clarifier, if that's right. And so
Mm.
if that is coming up again, it's really meaning what it said. Check out where you're kind of growing through relationship to others and to the self, because you know, Aquarius, you can expand really beyond for bigger causes, the moral good, the good of humankind. But when it comes to more intimate connection and relationships, this is where you're really honing your skills. And in order to transform that, it's kind of taking stock of the rest of this reading, kind of leading you through to trusting yourself, um, unpacking stuff that may be limiting you, and also trusting in the sun card that came up in your third house. You know how to communicate what you need. So, what's the clarifier saying in that too, friend?
Lovely. In our 12th house of spirituality and, things hidden, we have the Four of Cups. So I think
Mhm.
because of the overwhelming nature of the positivity in this reading, this isn't a card about disappointment. This is a card about really trusting that things are going to be different this time, things are going to work out. And in your 12th house of spirituality and all things hidden, I kind of get the sense that you're doubting the intimacy that M was talking to. So, yeah, you're absolutely right, M. That Two of Cups showed up in the second house of values. So, I think the
Yeah.
universe and this reading is really asking you to lean into intimacy. As M was saying, you're very good about the collective energy, the bigger, the humanity. So, a little bit of work, perhaps, or, work in a positive way, playful work, curiosity around how can I lean into intimacy a little bit more. But this reading suggests that that's going to be really fruitful and beautiful for you, and hopes and wishes are going to come through that. So, really lovely reading, Aquarius.
Yeah, great. Thanks for reading with us, and we'll see you when we see you.